We are live, Jimmy. Guys,
Yo,
what's
yo,
up?
yo. It's the word, folks. Happy hump day.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys for chiming in with us on another Wednesday. And we know we're a
Indeed.
little later than normal.
Nevertheless,
But
we showed up.
we showed up. That's right. We show up because that's what we do. Right.
Absolutely. And
You
guys,
know,
we're gonna give some people a couple minutes to roll in here because our tardiness, we understand that you guys might be thrown off a little bit. For those who don't know, I am your host, Coach Burkett, along with the co-host, my man, Coach Jimmy, and we empower your financial future. That's what we do. We here to give you nuggets, gems, encouragement, insight, whatever you need. All of the above, right? So, guys, give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna send some comments out, get some people in here, and we're gonna get straight to it. In the meantime, let us know where you checking in from. Sorry, Jimmy, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
no, you're all good. All good, sir. Yeah, let us know where you're rocking from. You know, it's usually dope. You know, me and Coach been doing this for a little while now. We've talked to people in Jamaica, Nigeria, Canada,
Yes, man.
legit all over the world, China. It's always dope to kind of come together, right, and get people from all over, like-minded people on the same chat, and that's what it's about. We want to build a community. It's you can't do this thing alone, and the more
That's real.
we come together, the more we can, just put great minds together and accomplish big things. So we're stronger as a unit. Just always remember that.
Man, you hit it on the head, man. You can't do it alone, and I think particularly in our culture, man, that we try to do things alone, and you just can't. Like, you can't. It's power in numbers. It's power in unity. So we bringing it back there. Oh man, I missed the comment. We got my man Mike showing up,
Mike.
showing out. Good evening, gentlemen. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Appreciate you joining us, even though we are an hour late. Nevertheless, we are here, and we're gonna be back on time next week. That's the plan. But things happen, and guess what? We're gonna pivot. All right, Jimmy. We're gonna pivot, right? And get it done. So we got some people chiming in. All right. We got my man Mike, Columbus, Ohio, guys. Shout out to Ohio.
Columbus.
Dope state. Shout out to Columbus. All right. Nate from Zenith. Glad to be in touch with you, Phil Burkett. My man Nate. Hey, shout out to you, Nate. Nate, you are one of the first people to get me on that golf course, man. And I know nice. I got a video out there. My swing is a little tight. I need to relax a little bit, but I'm swinging. So shout out to you, Nate. It's good to see you, brother. Man, connect with me, man. Hit me up. So, fellas, just got off work. Glad I joined. I'm glad to have you. Appreciate you. Definitely. Good evening, Ebony. How are you?
Thank you for chiming in. Good evening.
Thank you. Good to get all the love, man. Why people stayed up late for us, Jimmy? That's good stuff.
Gina.
Numbers. We unite. When we unite, we tap into other people's superpowers, man. Shout out to you, Gina. You always positive and on point. Appreciate you for that. Hey, shout out to all the women. It's Women's Day. I don't know if you knew that, Jimmy. It is Women's Day, so shout out to the women. Hail from Chicago. Chi-town. What's going on, Chicago? I'm sorry, I mean to skip over to hello. I just hate it when they don't give us the names, man. But it's all good. Shout out to you, Facebook users. Appreciate you. All right, another shot, Chicago. Love that. Nate, will do. All right, Nate, I look forward to it, brother. Hey, Nate, matter of fact, we got a golf outing, Chicago, for Hillcrest, July 14th, which is my birthday.
There we go.
Foursomes together.
We got our 20-year reunion. Well, my grade, July 15th. Yeah. I just saw that.
Oh, straight?
Yeah.
For sure.
Class of 2003, 20-year reunion, July 15th.
Let's do it, man. Well, looks like I'll be in Chicago. All right, guys, we got a great show for you. Appreciate everybody, showing the love and stand up and catching the show. So we're going to give you these gems, right? Guys, our topic today is really, really special because it's about mindful spending to achieve financial goals. We talk about having these goals, Jimmy. We talk about having the optimal mindset, right? We talk about getting to sleep and doing all these things. Now we at this point where we got this money. How do we spend it, right? How do we do what we know we need to do to achieve the financial goals, to get us to that financial freedom and that abundancy that we all seek and search, right?
Absolutely. Because, one of my clients, multimillionaire real estate investor, he told me, he was like, look, always remember this, Jimmy. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep.
Say that 2 times for the people in the back.
He says, not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep. Right?
That's real. That's
real. Simple as that sounds, it's a principle that most screw up.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so a big part of that, we always talk about the goals and stuff, but you also have to pay attention to what you're doing, right? And that's what we talk about, being mindful and being present. Because let's face it, we live in a society where we're almost on autopilot. I should say almost. We are on autopilot these days.
Absolutely.
You get to the checkout counter now. I just opened a new bank account and, finally started using Apple Pay. Like, I could just tap my phone and pay for stuff now. Amazon, one click, buy now. It's at your door tomorrow. Right? It's so we don't even think about it anymore.
Yep.
Well, that's a problem. You're trying to save money. Because before you know, you done spend $100 on what? Just like $20 here, $15 here, just tapping, swiping. And before you know, there's $100 gone. And think about how many times you do that during the week. That adds up. So we definitely want to encourage you guys to focus on being more present.
Like that.
Especially when it comes to your finances, to your spending. You have to be present. You have to be mindful. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. Because if you're operating on autopilot, well, you're just going to revert to old habits, because that's what habits are. They're just things that you do, automatically, subconsciously. You don't think about it. When you're not mindful, you have bad spending habits. Well, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to go back to those old habits. But we really got to be intentional about building wealth and reaching our financial goals.
Man, that's well said. And that what you said led me to a thought I had, man. Impulse buying.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. And Jimmy,
absolutely.
We done dove into marketing heavy, brother. So
yes,
that's actually a strategy in marketing, is to touch that impulse, right? Touch that pulse to make you spend the money, pull the trigger. And usually once you spend once, you'll spend again.
Oh, absolutely.
So we need to be mindful, and that's why we need to control our spending, right? We need to have a plan. That's why we got the goals in place in the beginning, so we have a plan for our money. So we not just, hey, I got this money, I'm gonna buy the first thing I see on my way to financial freedom. That's not gonna work. That's not going to work, right? You have to be intentional with what you buy. You have to be intentional with your purchase. Not even what you buy, just what you spend, right? I want to play these words the right way. You have to be intentional with what you spend, and to your point you made up before about it's not what you make, but what you keep. I was telling my son this a couple of days ago with my brother, man. You got, let's say somebody makes $100,000 a year. Their expenses are $80,000 a year, right? They keep $20,000. Okay. Now you got subject B. They make $50,000 a year, but their expenses are $10,000 a year. They keep $40,000. Now on the outside looking in, the way we are programmed to think, that 100,000, that's it. That's the mecca. Yeah. But in reality, they're only keeping 20,000. Right. And you got this person who's making 50, who's learned to live off that $10,000 budget. So now guess what happens, Jimmy? Subject A, who makes $100,000, shit happens. They now make $75,000. Guess what? Expenses over the income, right? Now you take subject B, they make the shit work for them. They take that 50 and they make 75 now.
Exactly.
Guess what? Their expenses are still $10,000. Now they can splurge a little bit or increase the expenses, better lifestyle, invest more, just options, right? Because that's what we are seeking, options. And that's why we get passionate about this, because we are here to empower your financial future. So you have to be intentional with what you do, intentional with what you spend, intentional with what you save, and intentional with what you have as goals. Okay. Couple comments here. Progress, generational wealth.
Yeah.
Straight like that.
Name of the game.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Name of the game right there.
Class of 03 from Hillcrest. Okay, we got some 03s in here. Hey, it's all good, man. You know, we gonna come to that reunion and we're gonna talk the same talk we talking to.
Right.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But yeah, man. So like, you know, we talked about impulse buying. And also, you know what it does too, just being mindful and prioritizing your spending, right? It encourages you to intentionally save.
Yes.
Right? Because that's why I say I don't want to say buy versus spend, because you could spend on a savings. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you can, you know, once you get everything, your expenses, your day-to-day under control and things like that, when you start to see those extras because you're planned, because you're strategic and you're intentional, right? Now you start to see those extras, you can actually spend, you know, incorporate the savings into your expenses. And now you are being intentional with saving. Okay. And I'm telling you, you know, when you have money available, opportunities come. They come. And the good ones, they usually come like that, and they're gone just as fast. So you have to be able to recognize it and take advantage. And part of that is being able to participate in the game. You got to have some money or some, you know, something to be able to put an asset or something, you know, to kind of put you in position to make that extra. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And, you know, you talk about impulse buying, and one thing they talk about in sales, and I'm sure you've read this, you know, studying marketing too, is people buy with emotion, justify with logic, right? So knowing this, companies are very strategic in doing things that send signals to the brain that make you just want to impulse buy out of emotion. And after you bought it, you tell yourself a story of why you bought it, why this was a good purchase, when in reality you didn't need it.
Right.
They do a great job. They spend, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars on, you know, scientists and research to get you to impulse buy and to make it easier, to make it frictionless. Like I said, now we just tap, now we just swipe, right? And they just know the psychology behind it. So that's why being mindful is so important, because it's harder than ever, because you have these companies who know how your brain operates better than you do. That's the way the game is played. I've read books about it. There's a good book. You know, I'm always talking about books. Actually, good, there's two. There's one called Unconscious Branding. That's the first one I read about this. And it talks about how companies hire psychologists, neurobiologists for that specific reason. Their job is to work with the marketers.
Okay.
Come up with ways to send different signals in the brain to just make you keep coming back, make you want more, make you want to keep buying, and keep you in that cycle. Like that. That's what they do. They do a great job at it. That's you know, deep. You think Apple just knows how to make us want iPhones just because, you know, they put a bunch of apps on there? Like, no, they know they're very strategic in the branding and the marketing. It makes you want to belong in that culture. Right, they have scientists to help them with that. That's how the game is played. And the other book is called Blind Sight. It's a newer marketing book, but same concept as Unconscious Branding. They just give more specific examples. Unconscious Branding is more kind of sciencey. This one's more like easier to understand and follow, but same concept. Is just they talk about how they hijack your attention. Yep. They just suck you in, and once you're in, it's very hard to break. But you can break it. with having a plan, being intentional, right? Being mindful with your spending. When you do that,
Absolutely.
you can break the cycle. But if you don't, they are going to suck you right back in. And then you're back at square one, living check to check, debt too high, emergency happens, and now you're just hoping for a solution at this point.
Trying to
right?
drain that well dry. And a lot of it is we just have to, focus on what's important, right? Just keep the focus on what's important here, okay? And as long as we can do that, we can keep most of it in front of us. And I'm gonna say something too, Jimmy, before we, go to our quick break. Don't beat yourself when you make a mistake. If you don't stay on track, don't say, "Oh, well, I fucked up. I might as well just keep messing up," right? Nah, you messed up. Take that situation. All right, pivot. I like that word, Jimmy. I like that word. Pivot, okay, and get right back on track. Right back to the focus. Right back to where you need to be. Okay. So we just have to, man, keep what's important in front of you and be intentional. Okay.
Keep the main thing the main thing. It looks like I lost Coach temporarily. He'll be back. He probably just hit the wrong button. But so yeah, guys, I just want to reiterate.
I don't know what I just did.
Yeah, I was like, he'll be back. I was going to reiterate what we just talked about, just keeping the main thing, and just understand the difference between what you need and what you want.
Facts.
Understand that. That's very important, because there's a lot of things you want, but you don't necessarily need. And a lot of those wants, once you get it, it's kind of like, I really didn't like this all that much. You know what I'm saying? Because in psychology, our brains just naturally want what we don't have. So when we get it, it's kind of underwhelming a lot of times, or the high wears off pretty quickly. So just understand the difference between a need and a want when you factor in your financial plan.
For sure. And real quick, guys, I missed a comment. Sorry, Gina. Happy International Women's Day. And that leads me to the break real quick.
Hola.
What we're going to do, all right, since it's Women's Day, we are going to offer what we offer. Guys, we are building a funnel out right now. We're going to give you a detailed newsletter along with some other offers and great things. So please, I urge you, go to birdcatfirstclass.com, fill out the information, type Women's Day in the message box, and we will send you those free courses. We got something special for you, especially for the women. Okay. Shout out to all the women out there. Appreciate you. Okay.
Absolutely. Definitely type it in. Get the free content, guys. It's worth it. We try to provide value. We want to give you the game for free that other coaches and people on the internet are charging for. So we want to make sure we're delivering value. We've spent I don't know how much money on these programs over the years. We're talking 20, 30 grand.
Yeah.
And we're giving you the game for free.
Yeah.
So take advantage, right? That's what we're here for.
And not to toot my own horn, but however, I was told that the mobile home course, the free course, was better than some paid courses.
Oh, absolutely.
So guys, we're giving you the free game. All you have to do is go to birdcatfirstclass.com, the number 1 ST, please, and type in Women's Day in the message box along with filling out the information, and we got you. All right, I'm gonna give you the mobile home course. Jimmy gonna give you a health and wellness course, and we're gonna get you empowered to your financial success, financial future, all the above. All right, so make sure you guys take advantage of that. Don't think long, because usually if you think long, you think wrong.
Yes. Absolutely.
So just do it like Nike say. All right,
just do it.
All right, enough of that. All right, Jimmy, we back on track, man. We're gonna finish up the show here. Guys, just to recap, we talking about mindful spending to achieve financial goals. This is very, very important, because and it's not just important for people without money, right? For people with money, it's important for everybody, because you're either going to be somebody without money who's trying to get money, right? Who's trying to acquire more money, or you're going to be somebody with money who's trying to keep the money, because we have so many stories and situations where, unfortunately, you get people who get to that financial empowerment and they are irresponsible with it and they kind of fuck it off.
Definitely.
You know, whether it's being scammed or just a lot of times what I read, it's just bad spending habits, you know. So it's just as important to understand money when you have money as it is when you don't have money. You just got to understand your position you play with the money, because when you have money, there's certain things you want to do to get those tax breaks, right? And when you don't have money, you know, you don't get those tax breaks. So it's, you know, you're in a different tax bracket. So yes. Okay, we got a quote here. My man Mike said he gonna quote Ryan King. Have a plan. Have plan a strategy, execute that strategy. Well said.
Shout out to Ryan King.
Shout out to my guy Ryan King, for sure. King Sheen,
the crypto guy.
Yep.
Guys, don't be afraid of crypto. If you got Ryan
see them
King,
crypto numbers, y'all see them crypto numbers creeping back up. Guys, telling you, get XRP. All right, not financial advice, of course, because we don't give that. However, you know, for educational purposes, just to talk, look into XRP. If you don't know what it is, do some research, do some due diligence. Look into XRP. It's last time I checked earlier today was 39 cents.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I haven't looked. I just like, you know what? Set it, forget it. I got my XRP bag.
And that's a great strategy too. I actually gonna do that, Jimmy, so I don't have to look so much, because I'm always on my phone. I gotta be better about that. Just accumulate it weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, you know, whatever fits your financial plan. But guys, get some XRP. Shout out to the whole Urban Digital Assets UDA group, guys. If you want to get in that group, reach out to us. Like Jimmy said, we got plenty of avenues to help you guys get that financial freedom, along with the financial information to get there, because it's a process. It's a journey. It's a marathon. So we take you step by step to get there. Okay. But yeah, so kind of get back on topic here about the mindful spending, Jimmy. I figured you would like this next one I got, because, you know, it kind of leads to your expertise, man. I feel like, anyway, where when you are mindful about your spending, right, it reduces your financial stress, right? Like, because I mean, I think from the America I know, majority of America suffers from some sort of financial stress. And if we are mindful with our spending, if we are intentional with our budgeting, with our calculating, with our tracking, just everything we talked about in previous episodes, guys, please go check them out. We got great gems in there. All right, like, share, subscribe, get all these game to somebody you care about, and let them do the same to somebody they care about. But if we do all of that, now we know where our money's going. We have a better stress level, right? I mean, that makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
So, man, yeah. And Jimmy, I know you could speak about how important stress is, right? To maintain and not let it overwhelm you, especially financial stress, you know, because stress can come from many different angles. It could look like many different things. And financial stress is, I think, a common one. So we definitely need to avoid that type of stress and do things to make us, you know, handle those stress levels better.
Yeah, absolutely. Stress is the silent killer, right? It's become so ingrained in our society. We have a grind 24/7, push through the pain, you know, sort of mindset. And what's killing people, it's making people sick. And when your stress levels are constantly elevated, it weakens your immune system. Your energy is lower. It impacts your mood, impacts your sleep, right?
Yeah.
Your stress hormone cortisol, that's what wakes you up in the morning. It's the highest in the morning. And that's also when the most heart attacks happen.
Mm-hmm.
People who die in their sleep and from heart attacks happen around 4 in the morning because your cortisol is the highest. So stress is really important. And I could be wrong, but I believe I read that the number one contributor to stress is financially related.
Man,
Whether that's not having enough money, whether that's working too hard for the money, whether you have the money and people are begging you for the money, it's usually some sort of financial stress. So what do? You have a plan. Well, you have a plan, you can reduce that stress. You're never going to get rid of the stress, but you can manage the stress. And that's what's important. So, I think a lot of times in society too, they try to eliminate stress. You're never going to eliminate stress. And stress isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a great motivator.
There you go.
But you want to manage it, because when it goes unmanaged and it gets out of control, that's when bad things happen. That's when your quality of life gets worse. That's when you start making bad decisions. Now you're doing things out of, emotion, and you're not able to step back and look at the facts and think logically, because your stress is so elevated and it's got you in a bad mental state. So I want to encourage you guys to really take this serious. And if you feel like you're stressed out, you feel like you're anxious all the time, or even depressed, that's something you can start doing outside of tips we given in the past about like moving your body and stuff like that. But take care of your finances. Give yourself some breathing room.
Cut some shit out. In other words, guys.
Yes, get rid of some clutter. You'd be amazed getting rid of like excess materials that just sit in your house is how freeing that can be.
Yeah.
Like just having a bunch of stuff that you're just not used to sitting in your house. Like you'd be amazed just like getting rid of it, and just this almost feels like a breath of fresh air, like a fresh start. It can be very freeing. It's like letting go, right? So think about it. When your hands are open, you're relaxed. But when you're holding on, right, you're tense, you're stressed.
Right.
So, think about it that way. So, definitely just keep that in mind.
Well said, man. Well said. And I can't stress it enough. Pun intended. Stress. But it's stress can be a motivator, right? Stress motivates me to keep going, because I don't want the bad stress. I don't want the added stress. I don't want the added pressures. I want a certain lifestyle, and I want my family to experience that as well. So to avoid the stress of me not fulfilling that, or me not feeling like I'm on the road to that, I work my ass off.
Yeah.
You got to put the work in, because I'm a believer too that once you put the work in, now I don't worry about the results, because I know what I do on a daily. You know what I mean? I know what I work on day in, day out. I know what I got going on. So I'm at ease about my goals and what I want to do and things like that. It's just a matter of time. I just got to stay alive. You know what I mean? Just got to keep living.
Gotta be here.
Yeah, that's the hard part. You know what I mean? That's the hard part. So with that said, guys, we're gonna open it up, guys, for you guys to talk back to us. We don't want to take up the entire segment, but if you guys have experienced or know somebody who's experienced some type of financial stress, give us some feedback on that. What does that look like? How you guys feel about that? We got a couple minutes for some questions. And while we give you guys some time to type that up in the chat, we wanted to remind you that we do this every week, every Wednesday. Our normal time is 7:35 p.m. Central Time. When things occur, we do push it back to 8:35 like we did today. But we're going to get it done, right? So, guys, go to our YouTube channels. It's in the descriptions. I put the links there, so it's no excuse for you guys not to be subscribed to myself and Jimmy's page. So that way you can turn the notification bell on, and you'll get notified when we go live, just in case we have to, pivot, things like that. Follow us on social medias. And guys, let us know, man. We give us topic ideas, whatever you guys want to hear. We do plan on bringing some experts on to give you guys some more insight. Probably tired of looking at, Jimmy's Drake face and hearing my voice. So, we definitely want to give you some mixture that way. And tune in next week, guys. We talking about the science of sleep and how to optimize it. Everybody loves sleep. Whenever I'm talking to people, man, I ain't getting enough sleep. I was in my bed. My bed felt good. So we're gonna give you some tips and tricks and things like that. So how you can get to that deep sleep, right, Jimmy? That deep sleep zone.
Yeah.
You know, you're always talking about. We're gonna get you there faster and get you there longer so you can get a better quality of sleep. Will eventually give you a better quality of life.
Okay. Absolutely. You don't want to miss that. Telling you, sleep is the superpower that we take for granted.
Yep. So make sure you tune in next week. All right, a week from today, Wednesday, 7:30, 5 p.m. Central Time. Guys, and that's all the time we got. I don't see any questions. So we're gonna end it here. See you guys next week. Appreciate you checking in. Peace from Coach Burkett. Coach Jimmy. Have a good one. See you next week.